TV Boats presents Florida Sport Fishing, television for the avid angler, powered by Mercury Marine. Oh, yeah. On this episode of Florida Sport Fishing.
Oh, there's a fish on the deep bait.
The females are capable of spawning every other day in captivity.
Nice, baby.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Maxell 2-speed big game reels, exceptional performance with silky smooth carbon drags and heat-treated stainless steel gears. The future of fish fighting is here. VMC Coastal Black Hooks, engineered to withstand saltwater. Tropic Trailer, Florida's largest dealer, has the right trailer at the right price. Motor Guide, precise maneuverability equals better fishing.
Ready, Carlos?
Let's do this, man.
Let's do it, baby. Hey guys, welcome to Florida Sport Fishing TV. Captain Carlos and I are aboard our Mercury-powered CV370Z. We're way offshore here in the Gulf Stream. We're about 25 miles outside Hillsborough Inlet. We're going to be trolling. There's a lot of different ways to target dolphin. Trolling, certainly one of my favorite. Carlos, once you grab the wheel, push them up to about 7 knots. I'm ready to set the spread. We're going to fish an 8-line spread, and I'm going to walk you through every bait. Very first thing I'm going to do is set my shotgun bait, my way out there bait. You know, again, the way that I'm going to set my spread is I'm going to start way in the back and work my way up toward the boat. Okay, ready to go. Positioning is super important. I'm spending a lot of time looking at exactly where each and every one of my lures and baits is in the spread. The shotgun bait, I like to call it the set it and forget it. Get it way back there, forget about it till the reel starts singing. I put it up high, this way the line's above everything else. You don't have to worry about it tangling. Now what I'm going to do is set my outrigger baits. I'll start with this starboard one. On my outriggers, I like to fish rigged ballyhoo. Again, keeping a close eye on where this bait is. I want it positioned just ahead of that shotgun, right in that clean water. All right, I'm going to swap over to the port side. Same scenario, this time with pink and white. And I'm going to position this one even with my starboard rigger bait. Next thing I'm going to do, I also fish a deep diving plug right down the middle, something deeper in the water column. You can fish a planer, you can fish a heavier lure with even a trolling lead. In our case today, we're going to start off with a deep diving plug. Dolphin eat dolphins, so why not give them what they love? Next thing I'm going to do is put a couple more flat lines out with, again, more daisy chains. You know, I like to create all of that commotion, all of those baits in the water. I don't have to worry about tangling with the other lines. I know exactly where they're at. And I'm going to fish these daisy chains closer to the boat ahead of those ballyhoo islanders. And now the same thing on the port side. Another daisy chain, brightly colored. And again, I'm going to place this daisy chain even with my starboard one. So I've got a nice uniform pattern. Okay, finally, I'm going to put 2 larger lures closer to the boat, right in the wash back here. But these bigger baits, they almost act as teasers, but certainly big dolphin and who knows what else may come up and crush these. All right, we're almost there. One more of these teasers on the starboard side here. And I'm going to position that even with my other teaser bait. That's it. Nice and simple. We've got 8 lines in the water, 20 baits out there. Certainly not all of them have hooks on those daisy chains, but a nice big profile. And I'm always going to be ready to change. I'm going to constantly monitor what are we getting bit on, what's working, what's swimming right, what isn't under the conditions. You know, oh, there's a fish on the deep bait. He's on there on the deep bait. Smaller fish, you can see him out there going crazy. But I mean, that's the whole reason we fish at deeper bait, is you're just creating that 3-dimensional pattern in the water. How sick is that? Just absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't care what size dolphin are. You know, if that isn't pretty, if that doesn't get you excited right there, And look at that, it's a dolphin with a dolphin in his mouth. You know, certainly a small fish that typically we'd release, but he got beat up by the treble hooks there. That fish isn't going to survive.
He's still keeper. I mean.
So he's going on ice.
Yep.
So that's it. Now all we do, you know, our pattern is still out there. Carlos is going to push him back up. I'm going to reset that bait, monitor the spread, and see if we can find its mom.
It's your turn to score big. Book a long-range adventure aboard the legendary Yankee Captains. Fish virgin waters more than 100 miles offshore for exotic queen snapper, trophy tilefish, monster grouper, and more. With a lifetime of experience, let Captain Greg Mercurio and his dedicated crew put you on a hot bite. Fish around the clock or just relax. With full galley and huge fish boxes, all you'll need to bring is your appetite for action. Now sailing from Key West year-round.
What if navigating was as simple as touch and go? It is that simple. The world's first multi-touch MFD chart plotter, Navnet TZ Touch.
Boats get dirty, that's a fact. Thankfully, Rejuvenate Marine uses patented nanotechnology to make your boat cleaning faster and easier, literally cutting your cleaning time in half. Watch this. With highly concentrated biodegradable ingredients across their complete line of cleaning and care products, Rejuvenate Marine lasts longer while providing professional cleaning power that's safe for all surfaces and for the environment. Rejuvenate Marine. Spend more time fishing and less time cleaning. Real quick, let's touch a little bit on tackle here. You know, so many guys come out here, they troll for dolphin, and I feel like a lot of guys make the mistake of fishing gear that's too heavy. You know, you're not in Guatemala, you're not in Panama or Costa Rica where you're targeting and catching big blue marlin or big yellowfin tunas all day. That isn't the case. You know, you want to go light. The lighter your gear, the more action the lures are going to have, and the more fun you're going to have. On my bigger rods, the Ballyhoo Islander combos and the teasers, you know, the chuggers right in the wash here, I fish 30 pound, okay? 400, 500 yards of line on the reel, that's plenty of line capacity. 30 pound is all I need. You'd be amazed at how big of a fish you can catch with 30 pound test. On my lighter outfits with the Daiwas, you know, these 7-foot rods that we use, the KC 15 to 30 7-foot rods, that we use for everything, including light duty trolling, 20 pound tests. That's it, 20 and 30 pounds. I never go higher than that. The only thing that's higher than that is my deep diving plug on my bent butt rod. I'm gonna have loaded with 50 pound braid, okay? Because again, you're putting a lot of stress on that deep bait. If it's a planer, if it's a deep diving plug, and I need that heavier line on that deep bait. But other than that, it's all 20 and 30 pound.
Pros Tip, presented by Pelagic Gear, official apparel provider of Florida Sport Fishing TV.
You know, one of the most important tools when you're offshore trolling for dolphin, especially this far offshore, is a good quality pair of binoculars. I cannot stress this enough. You know, the human eye can only see so far. With improved vision, with the binoculars, I can see, you know, a country mile. And sometimes all it takes is finding that one weed line or that one piece of floating debris, may it be a palm frond or a pallet or, you know, a piece of trash floating, whatever it may be, that could hold a lot of quality fish. If you can get your hands on a pair of stabilized binoculars, let me tell you something, night and day, absolutely worth every penny. But at the very least, You know, at the very least, just a good pair of Steiners or any other quality glasses are super, super important, okay? And like I said, don't keep them locked up in a hold or a locker somewhere. Keep them in your hand, keep them on the dash, share them with everybody on deck. Let everybody take turns looking around. Because like I said, it only takes that one pot of gold, and I'll tell you what, could make all of the difference. Hey guys, if you're just joining us, I'm Captain Mike. We've got Captain Carlos on board. We're on board our Mercury-powered CV370, and we're offshore looking for big dolphin. Just got set up with our spread about literally 10 minutes ago. Found some scattered weed out here, a few slicks. Got set up, and boom, right away. Not a giant fish, not the one that we're looking for. See if we can get the smaller fish in without reeling in the rest of our spread. That's the idea. You want to keep your baits out there, you know, as long as possible. You don't want to reel everything in unless you absolutely have to. So if you just stop or certainly slow down, your other baits will sink, your other lures, and usually you can get the fish in right up above them. Of course, if we've got to reel in the other lines, we will, but
last
try
resort.
not to, yeah.
Last resort.
This way, as soon as you get the fish in, you can put them in gear and get another one.
Well, you might have another one following it. Once he sees the lures, boom, there goes the other line.
Absolutely, right in the head. Oh, strike one, strike two.
No, stop moving.
How not to gaff dolphin. There you go. All right, nice little cow. Hit that daisy chain. Look at that.
The award-winning Z Performance line from CV raises the bar. It's not just fast. It's not just fuel efficient. The CV-Z is the entire package. It offers the perfect balance, safe, predictable handling during hard turns and at high speed. And most importantly, the Z stays on plane at lower speeds, so it can comfortably handle anything Mother Nature can dish out. Experience the exhilarating ride of the CV-Z. Schedule a sea trial today.
Fiberglass. They use it to build boats and yachts because of its strength and durability. And that's exactly what every frigid rigid cooler is made out of. This is my set after 12 years, and I keep them outdoors. With industrial grade rubber gasket and stainless steel hinges with backing plates, not a single component has failed on any of them. Can you honestly say that about your coolers? From 35 to 300 quarts, there's a frigid rigid cooler, coffin box, or freezer for every boat.
Joey Accardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram reminds you that before you can do this, you have to do this. And before you can do that, you're going to need this. Save thousands on every new Ram truck at Joey Accardi in Pompano Beach. Family owned and operated, and bringing South Florida our best deals for over 25 years. So before you can do this. And before you can do this, you have to do this. Visit JoeyAccardiCDJR.com.
Another one on the jig. Woo!
That's Grouper Dynamo.
Yeah! How's that for a sea monster?
Chaos Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
Conservation Corner, brought to you by Diamond Fishing, the finest monofilament fluorocarbon and braided fishing line.
Hi guys, and welcome to this episode's Conservation Corner. I'm Captain Mike. I'm here with Ron. We're at the University of Miami Aquaculture Facility at the Rosenstiel School. Ron, populations all over the world are exploding. There's no doubt about that. The demand for fresh seafood is at an absolute all-time high. If we don't do something, we're going to continue to just decimate ocean populations and game fish populations all over the world, and there's certainly no end in sight. Here at the school, you guys have some amazing research going on, and it's possible that dolphin could be the answer well into the future for feeding the populations?
So it all begins probably where you were just the other day, out offshore catching wild broodstock. So we'll go out, use a local charter boat, take our equipment out there and collect wild fish hook and line and transport them back to our facility and put them into one of these tanks.
Now, when they're in the tank, obviously you're feeding them, they're in ideal conditions. And do you feed them specialized diet? Is the idea to get the fish as large as possible, as quickly as possible on these brood-sized fish?
Well, for the mahi, we don't need to get them too large. You know, they're a great species. They start spawning at a very young age, small size. So what we're really concerned about is making sure they're healthy and happy. So that means, like you said, a very good, high-quality diet, which will also supplement with vitamins on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Once those fish are in these tanks and happy, they'll begin spawning for us. The females are capable of spawning every other day in captivity, at which point they're releasing upwards to 100, 200,000 eggs.
Per female, every other day.
Every other day.
Wow, that's incredible. And in these tanks, we've got one bull, one male, and multiple females, is that right?
That's correct. So we'll have a single male and several females with him. The males are extremely aggressive and territorial, so if you were to put two males in the tank at the same time, they're going to fight to the death to compete for those females to breed with.
Well, that certainly makes sense and explains why out in the wild we generally see a single bull male with a number of cows. So
Exactly.
in the tank, once they're breeding and spawning and hundreds of thousands of eggs, how do you collect them? What's the process from that point?
So the fish will naturally spawn in our tanks, and the fertilized eggs will float to the surface, at which point they'll get skimmed off into this side tank for us to collect.
So we've now transferred inside. I'm with John, one of the research scientists. We've brought the eggs inside, John, and this is exactly where they hatch. Right now, we're looking at a tank that has what appears to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tiny little one-day-old dolphin. Absolutely fascinating. John, what happens from this stage? And before you clarify that, I also want you to tell us a little bit more about all of the facets of the research that's happening here.
So here at the aquaculture facility at the University of Miami, we not only work with the mahi-mahi, but also with the cobia that you saw outside, as well as with the American red snapper, Nassau grouper, the Florida pompano, Japanese flounder, tuna, yellowfin and blackfin tuna here. And so a number of different high-value marine fish species, looking at not only their potential for seafood production, but also their value as model organisms for looking at the environmental impacts of events such as the Deepwater Horizon incident in 2010, looking at the impacts of crude oil on these animals, the mahi in particular, as well as working with private industry partners such as Aqua and Open Blue Sea Farms, looking at the commercial potential for species such as cobia, already in commercial production, looking at the potential for mahi-mahi, these other reef fish species, and really to help develop these technologies for sustainable production of these high-value marine fish species. So one of the concerns historically with aquaculture has been the use of forage fish to feed the growth of this industry. And so one of the things we're focused on here is looking at optimizing that nutrition for these different species at different life stages throughout their growth. So from this stage, at 1 day old, they're still living off of their yolk sac. But in about 2 days, they'll start feeding on live plankton, which we culture here at the lab. There's incredible commercial potential for mahi-mahi, aside from its use as a model organism for research. Looking at the commercial aspects of it, of growing, because of its fast growth, it can reach a plate size in about 3 to 4 months. And you compare that to other plate-sized fish that may take a year or 2 years to get to that same size.
So really only time is going to tell if dolphin is the answer to feeding, this unbelievably growing population so rapidly. Is dolphin going to be that answer? We just don't know that yet. But even in the meantime, with all of the research that's been done here and that continues to go on, not only on other species like the cobia that you've practically perfected, You know, the groupers, the red snappers, hogfish. I know there's certainly been some other species that you're doing a lot of research on. And obviously the dolphin fish, what you're learning about the fish's characteristics, migratory patterns with some of the tagging studies that you guys have done, how important water quality is, how important the abundance of forage is to the health of the dolphin population. And not only for the dolphin, because there are so many game fish that feed on the juvenile dolphin as a forage species. So it really just feeds the entire cycle all the way around. And all of that research could potentially be used in so many different ways, you know, by so many different organizations. So, you know, again, only time is going to tell if dolphin fish is the answer, but this is a whole other side of mahi that you've never seen before.
The award-winning Z Performance line from CV raises the bar. It's not just fast. It's not just fuel efficient. The CVZ is the entire package. It offers the perfect balance. Safe, predictable handling during hard turns and at high speed. And most importantly, the Z stays on plane at lower speeds, so it can comfortably handle anything Mother Nature can dish out. Experience the exhilarating ride of the CVZ. Schedule a sea trial today.
Florida Sport Fishing is the #1 magazine for resident and visiting anglers. Each giant issue is packed with informative editorials, easy-to-follow illustrations, and tips to keep you hooked up. Subscribe today, and I'll deliver the magazine to your home for only 4 cents a day. Visit FSFTV.com right now, and I'll also include a hat, unlimited access to Florida Sport Fishing Digimag for your tablet and phone, and a special gift to keep you cool on and off the water.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Lindgren Pittman, purpose-built, high-capacity 12 and 24-volt electric deep drop, dredge, and daytime swordfish reels. #1 in design, ease of use, reliability, and power. Boat Outfitters, where owners and builders go for replacement parts and hard-to-find hardware. Salt Life Optics, anti-glare Zeiss lenses, provide unparalleled protection and polarization. Taco Marine, official outrigger system of Florida Sport Fishing TV.
You know, when you're offshore trolling for dolphin, you're looking, of course, for the telltale sign, sargassum weed. You know, a weed line is like the epitome of dolphin structure. You know, it's a pot of gold out here. But not all weed is created equal. You want to look for that really gold, vibrant weed that's really healthy. And if you don't see it first thing in the morning, don't get alarmed. You know, we started fishing this same area. I didn't see any of this grass. And then as it's warmed up this morning, what happens is it heats up the gas bubbles, the air bubbles in the weed, and then the weed will float to the surface. It's often suspended right below the surface at night or when the temperature cools, and you don't see it. So you really have to give it a chance, you know, let the day progress, let the morning progress. And usually as that morning progresses, you'll start to see more and more grass because more of it is floating up toward the surface and it's not suspended right below the surface. Another one on, baby, screamer. Woo! He's going.
He hit it hard, man.
Oh yeah, he slammed
Still
it.
going.
Little feather. I love that orange crush line. Diamond Fishing Products, new color, that orange crush. And I'll tell you, it makes seeing all of your lines in the trolling spread so easy, so simple. You can track all of your baits. Really important rather than like fishing blindly.
You know what's cool too, Mike? That deep rod that we got down, I see the rod tip because we got braid on it. It's just bouncing.
Yeah,
so you got another fish following up. That's probably the rod that's going to get hit.
Absolutely.
Just because it's a little deeper in the water column.
Sometimes they'll hit the ballyhoo on the outriggers too.
I mean,
you know,
we're still moving.
Yeah.
I mean, not fast, but we're still moving. So it makes those baits look like they're alive.
Ooh, tough little guy.
He's not little.
Look at that.
He's not
Look
little.
at that, look at that, baby. Look at that, look at that, look at that,
What
look at that, look at that,
misconception
look at that.
do you have?
Look at
It's
that.
not a little fish. Did the other one just get eaten? Watch out.
That might have got nailed. Yeah, there might be a fish hitting that.
Yeah, that's what happened. See, look
He's
at
on
that.
there. Yes, yeah, he's on there. He's on there.
That's why you
He's
keep him
on
in
there,
here.
right there, baby. He's on there. exactly what we were saying. Just that ballyhoo hanging out from the outrigger, just floating along. Another fish came by, saw it, plugged it, whacked it.
Got him? That a boy right through the head. Look at that.
Look at that gaff shot. Look at that gaff shot. Nice cow. Yeah. All right. Look how long that fish is. Calm down, sweetheart. Calm down. Tell me when you're close.
I'm right here, but it's still green.
Little tiny feather. That's all it is. Look, all the feathers have been completely eaten off of there.
Ready?
I'm ready. Hold on. Let me grab you a gaff.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice fish.
I know.
Dude.
They're not.
No, that's a quality fish right there. Look at that.
All right. Hold on. Let me get one more swipe up here, and you got it. There you go. All right.
All right. Woo!
Almost identical.
Nice, baby. Nice. Nice. That's what we're looking for right there. A pair of cows. Nice 20-pound cows, gaffers.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the kind of fish you're going to find out here 25, 30 miles offshore, you know, on some scattered weed, springtime. These are exactly the kind of fish that we're looking for. Look at that. They absolutely destroyed the whole deck. I'll tell you what.
In a matter of seconds.
Matter of seconds. Dolphin fishing is not clean fishing, but we're not worried about it. We've got Rejuvenate Marine cleaning products, deck cleaner, concentrated boat soap. And I'll tell you, what a big difference it is having good cleaning products. It cuts your cleaning time in half.
Oh yeah.
You know, it really does. It allows us to spend more time rigging, more time fishing, and less time cleaning. Solid work, brother.
Yes,
Solid
sir.
work.
That works.
Let's get these on ice. Oh yeah, look at that.
To learn more about the tactics and techniques seen on today's show and to subscribe to Florida Sport Fishing Magazine, visit floridasportfishing.com and get hooked up.